This is Sarah from the Keepers at Home channel, back to you with another video. So I just wanted to pop on here real quick and give you an update on what's been going on with life. We left off probably about 3-4 months ago, and I had embarked on a fitness journey to get myself healthy as well as the rest of my family healthy. I started at the end of December, and I started at a new gym, and I wanted to, sorry, I don't have my stand today, but I wanted to lose weight. That was my goal, but not necessarily lose weight anyway, any which way, but I wanted to lose weight in a healthy manner, something sustainable. And so I tried everything. I tried last year, I tried going keto. I tried, low carb, which is also another form of keto. I tried Whole 30. I tried Atkins before. I've tried cutting off carbs at 3 o'clock. That was a formula that my personal trainer gave me. I tried, what else? Low fat was big in the 2000s. So I tried that. I've tried so many different things. And so I was thinking, how can I get this weight off? And so I stumbled onto this Twitter space. I joined Twitter last year. And one of the ladies on the Twitter space said, we try to come as women. I mean, we're not tasked with putting on muscle or anything like that. Of course, if you do resistance training, that does help increase the muscle. But if all we have to do is lose weight, the equation is very simple. Uh, it's a mathematical equation. Everybody's saying trust the science, but this is the least followed science out of every branch of science. It's like weight loss theory. So they did a study where they quarantined people, fed them a certain amount of food every day. And they found that when the people were in a caloric deficit, they lost weight. Now, we have a lot of people lying to people and saying, oh, your hormones can affect this can affect this, that can affect this. But when you look at other countries, you look at the Chinese women, their hormones are really not affecting their weight. You look at anybody in a third world country. I mean, caloric deficit works because starvation works. No one is immune from starvation. I'm not saying that that's how you lose weight is by starving, but the caloric deficit equation works. Or if it doesn't, you're immune from starving. It doesn't matter what you do. You could eat nothing and you will not starve to death, which is humanly impossible. And when she explained it like that, it's true. You look at third world countries and you don't see women struggling with hormonal weight loss. You don't see women struggling with PCOS. So at the end of the day, the calories you put into your body and your caloric expenditure directly correlates to your weight loss, whether you're in menopause, whether you're hormonal, whether any conditions stand, you will be able to lose the weight. So I had fallen into this mindset that, oh, maybe I'm approaching menopause. Maybe my PCOS is preventing me from losing weight. And when I came across that Twitter space where she made it as plain as day, and something just clicked in my head. And this was me after years of, I had successfully dropped 80 pounds. But what I did when I went on those eating programs that I mentioned before, subconsciously you consume less calories. So you will realize a weight loss, but you'll just attribute it to going keto when in fact it was you went on keto and you subconsciously ate less. And so eating less will lead to a weight loss. Now, some eating programs make you feel better. If that's the case, eat that way, but you still need to be in a caloric deficit. So she advised to download myfitnesspal. I'm not getting paid by myfitnesspal, by the way. But if they want to pay me, I will take the money. But anyway, I went on myfitnesspal, and they have you put in your goals, put in your current weight, your activity level, and they tell you how much you should eat based on that activity level. And sometimes, if you walk a ridiculous amount, like 6 miles a day, they give you a caloric allowance that you could eat a little bit more. And some days use it, some days I didn't. So, I used that, and at first I thought, "This is not going to work." But I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna prove her wrong that some people, it doesn't matter what they do, it's not going to work. First week, I lost about 5 pounds. Next week, so that's water weight, and maybe it's some actual weight, body fat loss. Next week, I lost 2 pounds, and then so forth. And I said, this is working. Then I lost 10, 15, 20, 25. I'm now down 40 pounds. The equation works. It doesn't matter your circumstance, it doesn't matter what's going on, the equation will work. It may vary for each different person, but overall, if you stick to a caloric deficit and you exercise at least 3 to 4 days a week, even walking, you don't even need to do something serious. Like, I'm doing jujitsu with my children, but you don't even need to do that much. Just something that will engage your heart and some form of resistance training. Do that 3 to 4 days a week, you're going to realize the weight loss. Now, if somebody says lose 10 pounds by this time, I could actually do it because I understand how the body works. I understand the weight loss equation. So I'm no longer intimidated, say, I can't lose that. I can. And why is, being in the BMI range important? So when you're young, it's important because it could impact your fertility, chronic illnesses, and just your self-esteem. When you're married, when you are overweight, you're least likely to want to have sexual relations with your husband. Um, you just don't feel attractive. It could definitely impact how you feel about yourself. And you also want to be a good steward of what God has given you. And I just didn't want to be a burden to my family. I just went to so many funerals, lately, and I did not want, to cut my life short. And I'm not saying you can control your longevity, because you could go at any time, but you certainly want to be a good steward over that. You want your children to see a good example of living healthy. And I don't want to wait for the government to do it. I am perfectly capable of doing this myself. There's certain things I can't control, like my cooking oil. I don't know what's being cut with that. It says olive oil, but who knows? But I can make a choice of the quantity I eat of it. So my goal is to eat better quality foods, but sometimes that's not possible. Like some nights, I'm not. That was another thing. I was doing meal prepping, all these things. I can't do that. I mean, I have children, I'm busy, so I have to portion what I make for the family. And some days my children, "What do you want for dinner?" "Macaroni and cheese." I portion out macaroni and cheese, go on the Calorie app and enter. Sometimes it's depressing because it's like, okay, you can only have 4 tablespoons of macaroni and cheese, and it's like, oh, but at least I could have it. I found that when I had it, I had less cravings, a less desire to crash out than when I couldn't have it at all. Now, the one thing I haven't had is sugar, and I think that was a good thing for me to cut off. I cut out refined sugar. I do have honey and tea and things like that, but as far as cake, donuts, that was my vice and that needed to be cut out. Now, eventually, I want to be able to have like healthier versions of things, but for now, and that's my right hand that was causing me to to crash out, fall off the wagon. So I just cut it off. But I could have oatmeal with strawberries and add some milk to it and some brown sugar. But once again, I have to portion it out, and everything I eat, I type into myfitnesspal. So that was a video for today. We're going to next video, I'm going to show you, what my weight loss kind of looked like and pitfalls that I fell into in the past and I learned to overcome. So, see you next time.